Yeah. See this feeling right here? This will be called raising the bar. For real. You undercover killer.
What is going on, family? I am here for a legitimate conversation with my guy, Mr. Yuck. This is the first guest. Thank you so much, my brother.
Appreciate you, my guy.
I'm ready, bro. Pulled up on my mans. This started after a conversation back in Charlotte at the Aggie Eagle Classic, you know, after sneaking a plate from a tailgate or something. Didn't know nobody, just Aggie proud and vibes, for real. How you feeling, man?
Feeling good, man. I'm feeling blessed to be here. Just appreciate life one day at a time, man.
Hey, look, I'm gonna say this. I can't say it enough. I'm very appreciative for you taking the time out. This brother really squeezed me in his schedule. Literally, I'm at the barbershop with my guy Trans by Trevino. And you know, I'm here. My brother is getting his son haircut, his haircut. You know what I'm saying? So that speaks a lot for you, brother. I just had to let that be known, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to keep it organic as possible, man. Bring people into our world. So it's a bi-weekly thing for me. Trevino be stealing my money, man. So
yeah, man. So right now we're gonna see this man get pampered up. He does have an EP dropping. That's why we're here. One Day at a Time EP. I got some questions for him. He's ready. I'm ready. The vibe is right. The energy is right. I'm ready to give y'all this interview. So let's get to it.
Let's do it.
Long as the fam good, I got a good ass life. Made a whole bunch of mistakes, got a good ass wife. Shit ain't never gonna be perfect. If they say it is, they lied, but they couldn't.
So, man, tell me about the concept behind the One Day at a Time title of the EP.
One day at a time. So, my grandmother passed around this time last year, December 9th. But my grandmother, that's like my rock, man. That's like somebody I talk to every Sunday, and like literally throughout life. That was her favorite. That was my favorite quote from her. Like she would always tell me, like, you know, boy, take it one day at a time. Like, you know what I'm saying? No matter what you're going through, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, sort of just take it one day at a time. So, you know, over the last year since she passed, I just been reflecting on that, and I kind of wanted to like honor her with the album, but not really so much like making songs about her per se, even though I got a few, which y'all will kind of get once the full scope of the trilogy comes together. But yeah, man, that was just something that, you know, connection between me and her, and just like a kind of like an ode to her, like letting her know like I'm listening.
I want to know how that strategy came about. You know, like when was it when you know, made the decision to fall through with this plan that you know,
making a project about my grandmother.
That and just you said it's a trilogy. Yeah. Where did that derive from?
Just so, man, I've been going through a lot, man. Like the last 2-3 years been kind of crazy for me, right? Like not in a good way or bad way, but just life. And so over time I developed a lot of material. And I'm an artist who generally sits on work. Like, so I got probably like 100 tracks, maybe over 100 tracks. And what I pretty much was thinking this year, man, I've been inspired by artists like the Russell, and some of the other artists who capitalized just off of dropping and releasing music more consistently. So I'm like, man, let me package this project, and just being conceptual as I am, I'm like, I'll put it in a nice little 4-piece form.
Yeah. I mean, and tell me about that. Like, what was it that kept you like hoarding the music? You know,
just being. I'm a real rapper, bro. Like I'm real. I guess you would consider old school with my approach, right? Like I go in the studio, I make a track, I listen to the track, I critique the track myself. I don't listen to other artists really. I listen to myself a lot, and like I'm sitting on the music because I'm trying to develop albums. But we live in like more of a single-driven society now. Right. Everything is more fast-paced, shorter, stuff like that. So just having to kind of adapt to the new wave of, I don't want to conform, but I want to adapt. I want to be able to live and breathe in the new area that we are, the new space we are with music.
For sure. The first record on the project, One Life, is the proper title, right?
Yep.
That ironically, it's one of my favorites. So it's crazy that I had got the track list backwards.
Yeah.
But actually, it's number one.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite record. I also, hey, look, just test out the backwards track list.
So what I was about to say is that's on purpose.
Okay.
We purposely created the album. So when we originally did the album, we did it backwards to front.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So One Life was originally the outro.
Okay.
And then my team was like, nah, that's the intro for sure. They gotta hear that first. And then Can't Stop the Rain was originally just me on it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I cooked it up. So I did the whole album in Charlotte. Then I went back home to DC and re-recorded it with my team, my group there, Writer's Block. And yeah, the album, literally you can listen to it front to back or back to front.
That's crazy, man.
In that exact order.
Right.
Yeah.
So 3 words that came to me when I was listening to that particular record was phenomenal, obviously. Free. You sound liberated on that record, and it's definitely, you exude the essence of hip hop throughout this entire project. Like, I appreciate artists who aren't afraid to stick to what it is that make them passionate about the craft.
Right.
Like, you're not in that bag of artists that are just trying to experiment for people to catch on. It's like, no, I'm gonna be me regardless.
Right.
Like even when we were talking about the way your wardrobe today, how you was like, yeah, I want to do that, but no, I'm gonna keep it genuine. And that's how this project is. It's genuine.
Yeah. So I mean, to that point, I say I'll just be honest and transparent. I try to keep it real, through music and just as a person, right? So since people to see this, right, it took time. Mm-hmm. Like I'm just now getting comfortable with who I truly am. Like for years, I've been doing the same thing since 5, bro. Like with music.
You've been rapping since 5?
Since 5, yeah. Wow. So I've always thought because I've been doing it so long and I've been doing it the same way that I was staying true to who I am. Mm-hmm. But sometimes I was making music with a goal in mind of how the audience will react to it and certain things like that. Right. And it's never pure that way. So, through conversations with self, but really through conversations with my pops, he really helped me kind of get to that point, just giving me honest feedback. He's always been like my manager with the music, and he kind of gave me that game, and it made me self-reflect, do some shadow work, and really get to know who I am. You know what I'm saying? Not Yuck, but who is Yuck? And then who is Manny? Like, you know what I'm saying? And once I figured that out, I'm like, man, I'm gonna be me, and my self-love is going to be what people appreciate.
It's ironic you said self-love because my next question was going to be about self-love. You spoke about it a lot in that record.
Yeah.
Speak about how that process has been as a black man actually taking care of yourself. Like, what are you doing to take care of yourself and properly give yourself that care?
I go to therapy every Wednesday. Yeah. I wake up at 5 o'clock, hit the gym to hoop just because I like the ball. You know what I'm saying? I'm not as athletic as I used to be, but I'm not doing it for nobody else. I'm doing it for me, right? It's like, my wife, she kind of inspired me, right? She started going to hot yoga, and she consistently goes, right? And that's her thing. So I'm like, shit, what's my thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I used to hoop, and then I got hurt and couldn't hoop no more. So I can't really do it competitively, but why can't I wake up every day and still hoop, right? So I do that 5 o'clock every morning. I go hoop before work. I go to therapy on Wednesdays, affirmations, you know what I'm saying? I write to myself, you know what I'm saying? So like, spend a lot of time with my family and really, I gotta have more gratitude. Like, I'm a hustler, so I always got something else I'm trying to conquer. But now, I'm just more happy with appreciating that everything happens for a reason. Right. And we here right now for a reason. Like everything happens for a reason. So like, once you appreciate that, you realize, I told my wife the other day, there's no such thing as a bad day. Right. Every day is good.
That's a great quote, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
So, what has been the most eye-opening fact that you've learned about yourself going to therapy? And how long have you been going to therapy?
So I started going to therapy a little before, in May when I got to Charlotte, really. Okay. The eye-opener is that once you know who you are, nothing else matters. Once you understand who you truly are, nothing else matters as far as like, you don't have to react to situations because I know who I am, I know who my wife is. I know who I am, I know who my son is. I know who I am, I know who my friends are. I know who I am, and even if I don't know you, I know who I am. So there's no way that you can get me to react to something when I know who I am. You know what I mean? Like, so everything is self-inflicted.
Right.
The hardest battle you have with any relationship in your life is with yourself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's powerful. Track 2 was, let's see,
Fuck Beef.
9 to 5? No, Fuck Beef.
Fuck Beef, yep.
Now, it's ironic that you called it Fuck Beef, but it was almost like you had to get your shit off. Like you had to vent.
Yeah.
About things that could actually result in beef. Like,
so the record, so I'm from the DMV area. I'm from PG County, Maryland. So it's like suburban ghetto in DC, right?
Yeah.
That record really was inspired by my crew more so than me. Like, it's a life, I'm not talking about the life that I'm necessarily living, I'm talking about the life that I've seen live.
Okay.
So like, if you listen to the record, I kind of name drop, but I cross out the name dropping with the edit. But yeah, just, you know, the world we live in, who knows what people are going, you know what I mean?
Right.
But like, it's
cases.
right. But it's, I'm gonna call them Dons, right? 2 Dons where I'm from, put the whole hood on. I grew up pretty much raised by both of them, right? As far as like you talking about learning about the streets and how to adapt to the streets, how to get to this money. And you know, different conflicts, change, make people separate, go their separate ways. And I noticed a lot of people around our circle is like picking sides. And that's why that's where the hook came from. It's like, y'all trying to dick ride at the end of the day. Like, we all brothers, we all kings. Like, who gonna sit these 2 dudes down and be like, man, we better off with y'all together than we are with y'all separate. Because when y'all divide everybody else, so y'all make it easy for somebody else to conquer what we work hard to get, right? So, I mean, that was a record inspired by my situation, but I think a lot of people can resonate with it.
Is that something you feel like you're going to pursue, or do you just wanted to speak a piece on that record and leave it there?
So, like I said, knowing who you are, right? I'm at the point now where my voice to the people is through my music and through the community. So I tap in with who I can tap in, but I'm more so tapping with people who want to tap in.
Right.
Can't free everybody.
That's a fact.
You know what I mean? And especially you talking about people who got more money than you, more clout than you, more power than you. Sometimes it's hard to get them to be humble enough to sit down, but I've definitely tried. And I definitely continue to try with who I need to try with. But at the end of the day, I think people that hear it and, you know, they make their own perception on the record.
This record reminded me of this song by Beanie Siegel. Like,
okay.
Are you a fan of Beanie Siegel at all?
Yeah, I respect Beans. Yeah. He's not like my rotation, but I respect Beans,
Yeah, like the, I was a percussionist back in high school, so like, I pay attention to the drums, to slap, to 2 and 4s, you know what I mean? And it reminded me of that essence. Like,
shout out to Righteous Beats.
Keep saying that, man. Like, you really keeping hip hop alive with that.
Yeah.
Did you really have a dream seeing Jesus smoking L?
I had a dream I saw Jesus smoking on the L.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a symbolism, right? I'm a 5%er, so I believe, you know, that the black man is God. You know what I'm saying? So Jesus, they say, is the son of God, right? So I see a lot of God smoking L's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Talk about adjusting your circle, you know, like living and learning. And making adjustments to the people that you keep close around you just based off of life situations and circumstances.
I normally keep my circle pretty tight because everybody around, like I say I don't really have a lot of friends. Like most people around me is family. I kind of run my business that way, everything. But when the energy there, the vibe is there, I connect with people and I'm a man of my word. So like, relationships are very important to me. So just like how we had that conversation at Aggie Eagle, and you was like, man, don't forget about me. What I tell you, I'm like, I ain't no Hollywood nigga. Like, and I meant that. So I thought about that as I'm like, I need to do a press run. Let me hit up Pat. You know what I'm saying? And then even, matter of fact, you hit me up first and was like, at that time I just wasn't in the space. I was still making sure that I even wanted to put anything out. And I just want to get on camera just to talk. Because like I said, like now I know who I am. Before I was the front line. I'm at every, you know, rally, meet, and I'm real front line with it. Now I'm kind of like, I'm tapped in with the community. People that's really making moves.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Number 3, what was track 3?
Track 3 is Done Talking.
Done Talking. Who produced this record?
Cuffy.
So did Cuff do all of them, or?
Amiri and Cuffy went back to back.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Actually, no. Done Talking is Amiri.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where you at with the production space? Are these like your guys, or you just want to experience this one time, or you still exploring?
Always open to exploring, but mostly internal.
Have you found your 40?
My 40 what?
Like your 40.
My
Like,
40 producer? I got about 3 or 4 40s.
Done talking. Who produced that right there?
So Done Talking, I think that was Righteous Beats. To be honest, I be getting confused with both of them, but yeah, that's Righteous Beats, yeah.
Okay. And a bar that I have to highlight. This was crazy to me.
Yeah.
Was, you were speaking about you can't wait till you get to a certain stature in hip hop. That stature being when you were able to meet Nas, and you was like, I can't wait for Esco to peep the bars. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah,
for those of you who don't know, Nas goes by Escobar.
Yeah, that's actually my favorite bar in the album too.
Yeah, no, that one stuck out, brother. That was really good.
Wise, yeah,
that was one of the ones you said. Do you actually write, or you type in your phone?
So I just started doing the joint in my phone.
Yeah.
That was in my phone.
Did you set your phone to the side after you wrote that bar? Like, what did you do after you wrote it? I know you remember.
I think I just laughed.
It's like I'm that guy. Speak about God's timing, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You were speaking about ready to be at that place, but we know we're ready. We know what we're capable of. We know our potential, and when that potential doesn't match God's timing, you just have to let go of that control. How do you do that?
Man, so I'm the type of person who naturally wants to be in control of everything. Right. God got a crazy, like what they say, God works in mysterious ways.
Absolutely.
Man, God works in mysterious ways. So literally everything I asked for this year, he gave me. But it's just not how I asked for it. You know what I'm saying? I wanted a kid, he gave me a kid and took him from me. Right. I wanted a boy, he gave me a boy and took him from me, you know what I mean? So it's like everything I asked for, he gave it to me. And even like some negative things that I said that I wanted, he gave it to me. And the power of the tongue is crazy. So like sometimes you gotta go through shit. Like, you know, people go to jail and they get sat down and it's like they don't never want to feel that way again, so they change their behavior. It was like that for me, man, when just looking at my son there and he was gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, from that moment forward, I'm like, damn, everything has to happen for a reason. You know
I
what mean?
forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
How did you recover from that time? Because you just started going through therapy. Do you feel like?
Shit, I mean, I was going to therapy prior to that because I felt myself losing my mind a little bit. And just kind of trying to get grounded, right?
Right.
But I mean, you don't recover, bro. You don't. I haven't recovered from it. It's just that life moves on. And that's a part of knowing that, like, everything happens for a reason. It was supposed to happen. He was meant to do that.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy. The name Nasir Ali, it broke it down like Talib won the victory. So like I feel like he literally led my family to victory. Like we was going down a negative path, and now everything is positive because it don't get no worse than that. So if we made it through that,
you make it through anything.
You know what I'm saying? So was that a bad day? Hell no, it was a great day. Great day.
Speak about you spoke about being a father in the song, and you mentioned, you know, things that you're doing to be more present as a father.
Yeah.
You know, coaching your son's team. We had the barbershop was just saying now, you know. Talk about that experience of your life and how that is impacting you as a man and as an adult as we're involved out here. Yeah,
man. I mean, I personally think I got the best father ever. Like, I think I hold my father to like the utmost, the highest, right? So I've always knew I was going to be a good father just because I had that role model in my life. Yeah, man, I just got paid forward. So like, you can't be a man and not take care of your family and not be there for your kids. So I literally can see how I impact my son on a day-to-day basis, and that's enough fulfillment for me. Like, as long as the family love me, I'm good.
Exactly.
Like, I don't. None of you all's opinions can validate anything if my son tell me that's his favorite record.
Right.
So that's it for me. Like, being able to coach him and other kids and just inspire them. Like I said, I can see that fulfillment on a day-to-day basis. That means the world to me.
That's what's up. Track 4 is 9 to 5.
Yep.
Did you freestyle that?
Freestyle the whole thing.
I peeped.
Yeah.
I peeped. I felt. I was like.
Right.
Wow.
I didn't used to like smoking stuff in the studio for a while. I didn't really smoke. Like, I was selling drugs and wasn't smoking, right?
Okay.
But shit, since my stint in Cali and all that, I started indulging in the marijuana and all that. But I actually did that record right after I quit my job at Enterprise, and I was in the studio, and we were just cooking up. It was me, Cuffy, and Mary. We was having a session. That was right after right before the Wife album dropped. I invited all my producers in, and for a week long, we got in the studio every day, just cooked up, and I was practicing freestyling, like not writing, just punching in. And I did that whole record, one take.
Wow.
Since then I've refined things, but yeah, that record definitely freestyle.
That's tough, man. Who was Mook?
It's my little brother.
Word. Okay.
Yeah.
What's the age gap there?
4 years.
He's younger?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 6.
Wow.
Yeah, so, being a father, like, the first time I felt like a father was being his brother. Yeah, like, my pops raised us, but he raised me differently so that I could, mold my siblings. And Mook that's my dog. All the other parents, they got a great life, but Mook got it out the trenches with me. So, we seen everything together, like, I remember he played D1 basketball, but I remember when he started playing basketball in our neighborhood we grew up, they used to tear the courts down because that's where the gangsters and all that would be at. So they tore it down, people was fighting, shooting, all that type of stuff. And we would just have to hoop off on the dumpsters, the waste management signs, with our backboard pretty much. And but we got out the mud together, like, it's my guy. So everything that we kind of talked about accomplishing, seeing him accomplish it just means the world to me. So he was in the studio that day too. So I reference him a lot because I'm literally looking at him, just reflecting and talking about. I'm talking about our parents on the record. So seeing him going through that, it's just like, yeah.
That's fine, man. Number 5, Can't Stand the Rain. You been watching Raising Canyon? No, not Raising Canyon, BMF.
BMF. Yeah, I saw BMF. So it's crazy. Mary sent me a beat similar to that, and then Cuffy sent me a beat with that. So they always be battling over the beats, right? Like who got the hottest beats.
Yeah.
I like how Cuffy samples a little better than Mary. Don't tell him I said that. He gonna hear it.
It's on camera now.
Yeah, but it's the truth. Cuffy got a vibe, like a different type of vibe. Where a Mary puts you in a bag, like fuck beef.
Yeah.
That's a Mary. That's righteous beats. Like that. That's a bag that I'm in where I gotta spit my shit. Done talking, I gotta spit my shit.
Yeah.
Can't Stop the Rain. That's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? That's something. It feel like Sunday morning at grandma's house. So I heard that record. I'm like, yeah, I gotta go in.
California. Tell me about California. You spoke on how you didn't like, I don't know, the vibes in California, the fakeness, the Hollywood.
I put it like this, like, I love the vibes of California itself. The weather, the freedom. Yeah. Everybody's free spirited. That's a beautiful thing. But it just feels fake. I'm used to reality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was born in New York. I was raised in the DMV area. Like, I'm used to reading people and seeing who they truly are. In Cali, it's hard to read people because everybody's fake.
Right.
Everybody broke as fuck, but they go to the club every single night to try to get on. Just not me. I don't like the club. I don't like people, but I love community.
Right.
I hate people, but I love community.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? I know it sounds weird, but it's the truth. Like, I like to build with people, but I hate to just be around people that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? I love being able to get high and just chill. Like, you get off work, go to the beach. You smoking on your balcony, like, you see everything in Cali. I lived in Long Beach, right? So I was downtown Long Beach. I seen everything. I seen the good, the bad, the ugly. And I could drive, 45 minutes. I'm right in LA. So it was great. You know what I'm saying? Everything happens for a reason. It ain't work out for me, but I got a family and a lot of, like, I would go back to Cali, retired, with a lot of money, saved up.
Right.
Or I would go to Cali young, no family, no wife, nothing, just hustling. Because you could do all that.
Right.
But going out there and trying to build with a family is kind of different.
Yeah,
so it ain't work out for me. I wasn't bashing Cali. I love Cali. I was just being real.
Right. Yeah, that's fast. Speak about feeling like the underdog, which is just, that's crazy to me. I don't know why you feel like you're the underdog, but why do you feel like you're the underdog?
Because I ain't made it yet. I did, like, I got my own brand, got my own label essentially. I make my own music, got my own producers. I own like everything that I do, but I ain't made it yet. So,
Job not finished.
Yeah, the job not done yet.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where you just gotta have a chip on your shoulder.
Right.
So I'm not really saying it for people to feel bad about me, but I've always been the underdog though with everything.
Right.
Like it's just how it is. I give respect. I'm well respected. I don't want to act like I don't give respect.
Right.
And I appreciate the love I get. And I know I can do my part of being more consistent to try to get out there, but I'm also here for a reason.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's the fact of it. But I also feel like the path that you're walking is there's a reason why it's taking that time that it is, you know, like you gonna come out on a different side because you're owning everything.
Yeah.
So when that moment does happen for you, you're preparing yourself for it.
Sure.
It does happen for sure. And speaking of that, it's hard to make it independent with no budget for the independent artists out there.
Yeah.
Speak on how essential a budget is,
Yeah.
what that means, how it changes the process, and how it keeps you organized as a brand.
You need to have capital or have a crazy business plan. And don't get so caught up in the business plan that you don't move. You know what I mean? Some people get too caught up in the business plan, but you ain't built up a business yet.
Right.
So I built up my business before I had a business plan. I just worked backwards, kind of.
Yes.
It has it worked for me in some ways, yes, in some ways, no. I don't got the plan because my business ain't as successful as I want it to be. But what I will say is that I built a lot of relationships. I know a lot of people. I'm 6 degrees of separation away from people who run the world. That's a fact. I know all the top black designers. I know if I don't know them, my brother know them, my wife know them, my brother-in-law know them. You know what I mean? Like I'm that close to people. All the athletes, bro. I know NBA players, first name basis. Like I know politicians on the first name basis now. Like so, I'm 6 degrees of separation to people who run the world in our community. But at the same time, I would say, just going back to your question though, you gotta have capital and you gotta invest in yourself and be willing to take a lot of losses along the way.
Right.
And just hustle. Keep hustling, never stop.
Right.
Never stop. You reach one goal, set another one, never stop. I think that's the only way. You gotta be consistent if you wanna win for a long time. If you wanna win momentarily, then just think of a dope idea, sell it and flip it.
Right.
That's it. But if you want to win long time, it's a slow grind, right? You got to just stay consistent.
Right.
And wins and losses, like, it is what it is. But, yeah, you got to have a budget. And I ain't have a budget. I still don't have a budget. But when you build relationships with people, other people will put their money where your mouth is. You know what I'm saying? And then you got to put your money on top of that.
Right.
Get them their money back, do good business. I don't owe nobody shit.
Come on now.
Nobody. Can't nobody say that I owe them shit. And it's been people that owe me shit, but they don't know more.
Right.
So it is what it is. You gotta just like, you do good business with people, your name gonna ring bells wherever you go.
Okay. That's what's up. Tell me how this long in the game, like, you know, you said you've been rapping since you were 5 years old. How do you keep that hunger? How do you continue to feel inspired? You know, how do you continue to have faith that you're going to have words that you're able to rhyme and not
It's crazy.
sound the same?
It goes up and down as far as inspiration. And it's crazy, my group is called Writer's Block, right? And the reason why is because we suffer a lot from writer's block. So it goes, there's periods of times where, like I said, I got like 100 songs now, but I could have probably had 200. I went like 3-4 months without being able to record nothing. But at least I had music to sit on. But like, I'm inspired by life. What I'm going through in life, it's all therapeutic for me.
Right.
I can't just make up shit.
Right. That's tough. What's next for you?
I plan on releasing at least once a quarter this year.
Okay.
Like I said, dropped Wife last album. This EP is called One Day at a Time. I like to follow up with some sort of trilogy. Release One Day at a Time 2 and the Wife 2. And then probably drop a full-length album either this year or the top of next year.
Right.
A lot of clothes being released. A lot of work in the community. Me and my pops working on building our own self-sustainable community.
Okay.
That's the biggest goal.
That's fine. Hey man, I really have to say it again. Thank you so much for sharing your time. But before we get out of here, I would like to speak on more of the history of what I remember about you, because people tell me stories about me. I'm like, I don't even remember that for real.
Word.
This man is really a legend. Like, I knew this guy was different when I seen him have the confidence and audacity to rap in front of KRS-One on campus. Because every rapper on campus at A&T at the time was there.
Yeah.
But there was only like 5 of y'all that actually went up and rapped. You know what I'm saying? And you was, I think, the first one.
Yeah, the first, yeah.
He was like, all right, let me hear something.
Yeah.
Crickets. The next thing you know, Bridget started spitting, and you went crazy for like 3 minutes. I witnessed it. I got a picture somewhere. I don't know if you in it. You might be. I'm gonna have to give that to you for sure.
Oh yeah.
So I've always been a fan, brother. I've always been a fan. So it's dope that we're able to have this conversation in person, man. I'm glad we got it documented for the history books, bro. You got anything else you want to share with the people?
No, man. Like I just said, man, take things one day at a time. Understand that everything happens for a reason, man. Really, like, appreciate being in the moment, being present in the moment, and building with the people that you know. I feel like we put a lot of focus on social media, but real social aspect of life is probably on socialism and building with the people that's in your village. So I appreciate you, Pat. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely remember that moment with KRS. Actually, Professor Terman, shout out to him. He hit me and was like, yo, KRS, his book, you know, to come out to the T, I want you to bring him on campus. So I was actually a part of the team that actually brought him on campus. Like, I was with him for most of the day, performed with him later that night, opened up for him at his show. So shout out to the guy, KRS. But now, peace to everybody, you know what I'm saying? The Polar Movement, positive outlook about reality, we still up and running, but Yuck is back, for sure. Back.
Precisely. And that's what you call a legitimate conversation. See y'all next time. Y'all follow us at Legitimate Sound on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, Apple Music for our playlist. We got over 70. And we out here. We outside. Thank y'all. And that is a wrap.
All the universe, let it chaos in the team.
Who produced this joint? DJ Cuff. My boy, first quarter recap. Safe to say he back. I ain't felt this way since they rehabbed the kneecap.